A stray canine German shepherd, broken and desperate, leaping into your car one rainy afternoon, her eyes pleading with you to save the tiny life she clutched close to her heart. You think you're just helping a stray mother and her pup survive another night. But what unfolds will challenge everything you thought you knew about loyalty, courage, and the invisible bonds that tie us together. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our inspiring true stories celebrating the strength of resilience and the power of compassion. The rain came down in heavy sheets, blurring the world into smudges of gray and silver. It hammered against the windshield of Tyler's old Jeep, the wipers struggling to keep up as he drove an empty stretch of country road. He wasn't even supposed to be out here. A wrong turn after visiting a friend had sent him miles off the highway. His GPS circled endlessly, searching for a signal that wouldn't come. Cursing under his breath, Tyler squinted through the rain. That's when he saw it. A flash of movement darting across the road, too fast, too low to be human. He slammed on the brakes. The tires skidded over the wet asphalt before coming to a shuddering stop. Standing in the middle of the road, soaked to the bone and trembling, was a German shepherd. At first, Tyler thought she was just another stray, another casualty of abandonment. Her fur was matted and muddy, her ribs pressing sharply against her skin. But it was the way she looked at him, straight into his eyes, unblinking, that made him pause. And then she did something that made his heart twist. She bolted toward his Jeep. Before he could even react, the dog leapt up against the door, pawing frantically at the handle, her nails scraping against the metal. She let out a high, desperate sound, raw with fear and urgency. Without thinking, Tyler unlocked the door. The shepherd jumped inside, shaking water everywhere. She didn't bark, didn't growl. Instead, she curled protectively around something hidden in the tattered blanket she carried in her mouth. That's when Tyler realized she wasn't alone. A tiny, shivering puppy, a miniature version of her, was tucked inside the folds of the soaked cloth. The baby whimpered softly, so small, Tyler could have cradled him in one hand. For a moment, Tyler could only stare. The mother lifted her pleading eyes to his again, and without words, she spoke. "Please, help him. Save him." The Jeep's heater hummed weakly, barely denting the chill that filled the air. Tyler swallowed hard, feeling an ache swell in his chest. "Okay," he said aloud, not sure if he was talking to himself or to her. "Okay, girl, I got you." The dog immediately lay down on the passenger seat, pulling the puppy tighter against her. She let out a low whine of relief, as if she somehow knew her desperate gamble had worked. Tyler glanced around. No houses, no other cars, just endless rain and whispering trees. Whoever had abandoned this brave mother and her pup had left them to die alone out here. Not on my watch, he thought fiercely, shifting the Jeep into gear. He didn't know exactly where he was going. Maybe to find a vet, if one was open this late. Maybe just home. But he knew one thing for certain. He wasn't about to let this little family down. As the miles passed, Tyler kept glancing over at the mother dog. Her weary eyes stayed locked on him, not with trust exactly, but with something even more fragile, hope. But just as he pressed his foot down on the gas, the Jeep jolted violently. Tyler cursed under his breath. The engine sputtered, coughed, and then died completely, leaving them stranded in the middle of nowhere. The rain poured harder. The night grew darker. Tyler realized rescuing them was going to be far harder and far more dangerous than he had ever expected. Weakly, she rested on her paws, eyes half closed but always flickering toward her baby. Every time the pup whimpered, she would lift her head, too weak to move but unwilling to stop trying. Martha returned from the kitchen, a bowl of warm goat's milk in her hands. "Here," she said, handing Tyler a small syringe. "We'll try a few drops. Maybe it'll give him the strength he needs." Tyler's hands trembled as he filled the syringe and gently coaxed it to the puppy's mouth. The pup latched on instinctively, suckling with a desperate greed that made Tyler's heart surge with hope. "That's it, little guy," he murmured. "That's it." The mother gave a soft whine of encouragement, her eyes never leaving them. Martha settled into the rocking chair with a sigh, watching silently. After a long moment she said, "You know, sometimes it's not the strongest who survive. It's the ones who refuse to give up." Tyler nodded, swallowing the lump that had formed in his throat. He didn't know much about fate, but he knew about fighting for life when the world tried to rip it from you. He knew about losing people you loved, and swearing you'd never let it happen again. And somehow, deep in his bones, he knew this fight wasn't just about saving a dog and her baby. It was about saving something in himself, too. Hours blurred together in a haze of feeding, wiping, warming. Every small victory, a stronger suckle, a louder whimper, felt like a miracle. Every moment the puppy's chest rose and fell was a triumph. But just as Tyler dared to believe they might win, the puppy's body seized in his hands. "No!" he gasped, panic surging through him. "No, no, stay with me!" The tiny pup stiffened, then went terrifyingly still. The mother barked, a weak, broken sound of alarm. Martha was instantly at Tyler's side, grabbing the puppy and beginning gentle compressions with 2 fingers. "Come on, baby," she whispered fiercely. "Come back." Tyler knelt beside her, helpless, his heart hammering against his ribs, so hard he thought it might break. Seconds felt like hours. The room held its breath. Then a faint, weak gasp. The puppy jerked, a tiny spasm of life, and then another. His sides began to move again, each breath shallow but stubborn. He was alive. Tyler let out a sound between a sob and a laugh, burying his face in his hands, overwhelmed. The mother dog struggled to her feet, wobbling, and licked her baby's face over and over, whining softly. "He's a fighter," Martha said, her voice thick with emotion, "just like his mama." Tyler nodded, wiping his face roughly. "Yeah," he said hoarsely. "Yeah, he is." Carefully, he cradled the pup back against his chest, feeling the faint but steady thump of its heartbeat against his palm. Outside, the storm had washed the world clean. The sky stretched wide and blue overhead. Birds sang in the dripping trees. Life, fragile, defiant, unstoppable, had found a way. But Tyler knew their battle wasn't over yet. The puppy had survived the night. Now they had to survive the days to come. And Tyler, for the first time in a long time, was ready for the fight. He wasn't going to walk away. Not this time. The paperwork finished, Tyler tucked the forms under his arm and led the mother dog, who he had started calling Maya, out into the morning sun. The little pup nestled against her chest, his tiny body finally warm and safe. Maya lifted her head as they stepped into the light, her once weary body moving with new strength. Tyler noticed it immediately, the way she walked closer to his side, the way her eyes scanned the world not with fear, but with cautious hope. He opened the passenger door of his battered old truck and helped her up, setting the pup carefully in a padded basket lined with soft towels. Before Tyler climbed in, he paused, looking at them. This small, broken family that somehow had stitched itself to his soul. He smiled. "Home," he whispered. "We're going home." As they drove, the town slipped away behind them, replaced by open fields, old barns, winding country roads. Tyler's heart beat to the rhythm of the wheels, steady and sure, for the first time in a long time. He pulled into his small, weathered property on the edge of the woods, the house he'd once thought too empty, too lonely. Now it looked different. It looked like a beginning. He opened the door and knelt to Maya's level. "This is it," he said softly. "Not perfect, but it's ours." Maya tilted her head, her tail giving a tentative wag. Tyler grinned and let her explore, watching as she sniffed the porch, the front steps, the wildflowers growing stubbornly through the cracks. Inside, Tyler cleared a space in the living room, dragging out an old chest and laying down thick blankets. He made a bed fit for a queen, and when he turned back around, Maya was already settling in, curling herself protectively around her baby. For the next few days, life settled into a rhythm, a healing rhythm. Tyler bottle-fed the puppy every 2 hours, and every time, Maya watched him with unwavering trust. She let him lift her pup, let him brush her matted coat, let him care. Something it was clear she hadn't experienced in a very long time. The pup, who Tyler had started calling Chance, grew stronger by the day. His legs wobbled, his eyes blinked open, deep pools of innocent blue. His tiny bark, when it finally came, made Tyler laugh out loud, startling Maya into a happy tail thump against the floor. Sometimes Tyler would catch himself just watching them, feeling a tightness in his chest he hadn't recognized at first. Love. Raw. Deep. Frightening. They were a family now. He wasn't going to lose them. But peace has a way of drawing out the demons lurking in the dark. One evening, as the sun bled orange across the sky, Tyler spotted something in the field at the edge of his property, a flash of movement, a shadow ducking behind the trees. His stomach dropped. He knew it was them, the men from the truck. They hadn't given up. They were watching, waiting, plotting. And this time, Tyler knew it wouldn't just be angry words and threats. They'd come for Maya and Chance, and they wouldn't care what they had to destroy to get them. He locked the doors, loaded the shotgun with trembling hands. He sent up a silent prayer to whatever force had carried them this far. Let me protect them. Let me be strong enough. Night fell heavy and cold. Maya stayed close, her body pressed to Tyler's side, her instincts razor-sharp. Chance slept soundly in the nest of blankets, unaware of the danger crouching just beyond the window pane. Tyler didn't sleep. He sat by the door, shotgun across his lap, listening to the wind, the creak of old trees, the distant crunch of footsteps that didn't belong. And when the first crash shattered the night, the sound of someone kicking down the back gate, Tyler rose to his feet, heart hammering. Maya stood with him, her growl low and savage. They were ready.